in the world that actually uses mindfulness and can even guide you on some new practical tips, ways that you can start using it yourself too. In the world that actually uses. As we start off tonight, I want to remind you that there are some other people that have been giving us some great comments and great tips as well about this topic. And it's the celebration of International Mindfulness Day, which is actually on Thursday, the 12th of September. And so we decided to ask some of our women of truth what they think about mindfulness, how they use it in their lives. And so today you're going to hear from Helena Yorgiu, a transformational speaker, co-author, courage coach, and holistic practitioner. She's also a volunteer for Women of Truth, and she belongs to the Single Mothers AHA program, which is actually a program we run for single mothers in Cyprus, and she is the Paphos City chairperson. Welcome, Helena. Lovely to have you.
Thank you so much, Helene, for that wonderful introduction. As always, it's a great honor to be here and be of service. Thank you.
It's been lovely hearing from you over different opportunities we've had on the summits. And I know you've also started putting your message out way further into the world. And I know your journey very well too. So for those of the listeners that don't know anything about you, what we want to hear about today is just the kind of work that you end up doing on a day-to-day basis. What is your work really?
My work at the moment is very much with child minding, one-on-one, private for families here on holiday. And it's very demanding, big responsibility. It's something I studied for and find great harmony and creativity in, and love the freedom of it. So I meet people from all over the world. Every time it's a different family, different experiences, different needs. And I love it because it pushes me out of my boundaries. So with that, of course, you need mindfulness to cope. And that is my morning routine to start my day, to cope and have the energy to deal with whatever comes my way.
Yeah, so I can imagine also many other roles you play in your life that also fill in the rest of the day, but really in the main line of work that you're doing, you already see the use of mindfulness. So give us an idea, what is it actually about for you when you say the word mindfulness? What does it mean to you? And how do you experience that in yourself? What does it mean for you to be mindful?
For me, it means to be mindful is an awareness. It's being in the moment and being very grounded, rooted. So the idea of that coming in a mindful practice is feeling your feet on the ground or your hips on the chair, or even just the surrounding that you're in, being aware of maybe the bird singing or, you know, the child's little smile or even a sneeze. It can be anything that might be minor, but it actually just brings you back and recenters you to the here and now. And what I found to start my day, I need at least an hour in the morning for my time. And I'm usually up by the latest 6:30 and I'm out by the seaside. I'm fortunate to be in Cyprus, so we have great weather to do this practically every day. And I'm only 5 minutes from the sea. So I'm there grounding myself as I walk, doing a walking meditation, the earth, thanking the earth and feeling the earth below me, looking around and being aware of maybe the flowers, the birds, or the trees, and sometimes stopping and smelling the roses, as they say. Sometimes we should stop and smell the roses. And that really helps, knowing that flowers have a very high vibration. And when I breathe that in, it really just puts me in the moment. That's one tip. The other is obviously the waves of the sea. That's very soothing for the soul. The colors and the shapes of maybe the leaves on the tree, or as the waves hit the rocks. It can be that. Also being mindful of the people and dogs that are walking past me. Some might be smiling, some might be avoiding me. Dogs may come and meet and greet me, some may not. These things, also of the breeze. There's the breeze that blows, the wind. Is it whistling? Is it howling? Is it gently touching my skin? How does that feel? And the sun, is it burning? Is it just rising? That morning daylight sun coming up. And then the most important thing is for me is getting into the water and swimming, and that feeling of being one with all in the water, being supported and being almost cleansed. I visualize it as a cleansing experience where the water is actually sacred and holy, and it's washing and cleansing me and rejuvenating me. So it's always be very much to do with Mother Nature. That is my fix, I say, and my sea therapy, my nature therapy. Besides that, I find toning, or what people call chanting, using your voice, whether you're singing hymns or whether you decide on a word like a mantra. What I like to use is the basic, most popular that's said to be the universal sound. And I've used it in various stages of my life. For example, once when I had a serious migraine and just chanted for 15 minutes and it disappeared. Little things like this. It's something free. Our voice is always available. It's works with the toning, the vibrations, and it just helps me come back to me, because it's so easily for us as humans to be distracted by what's going around us. Also on my journey as a Braveheart breakthrough expert, having to work through trauma and experience the triumph of that and the wisdom from it, it's having to come back to mindfulness and always try let go of what's around or what's happened in the past and come to the present. And mindfulness for me has been my tool, my number one tool.
Wonderful. So I hear you speaking so connectedly about nature, the waves, the sounds, and how you become very, very aware of your senses in this moment before you start work. And then you gave us again another beautiful tip. So for those of you watching, you can really start to practice this even today. On the weekend, make a special time to go and really deepen into it if you don't have time now. But what would your day look like if you started it at the beach or in nature, and you start to become really aware of how the senses are being affected, like a flower? And I loved what you said about the high vibrational consciousness of plant and the intelligence in plants around us, and then how we can really use this awareness of them and get support from that to come back into the body, to smell the flower, then to listen to the waves hitting the rocks, feel the sun. Beautiful, beautiful senses for all of you listening. This is a great way to practice mindfulness. And then you spoke about the use of toning as well. Let's move it now to work. You're busy, you're working with those children, or you're coaching a client. I know you also do massage, which is a very mindful process. So if we were to think about the work that you're doing and the way that you become mindful again when things get chaotic at work, what do you think is a great tip that you could also share with us that people can try if they're finding things get a bit hectic at work? What can they do to start practicing more mindfully?
Yes, absolutely. It's the tool we all have, and that is our breath. So you go back to the breath and kind of take some real conscious, deep breaths. So for me, it's like maybe counting in 8, or if you're starting usually 6, holding in 6, maybe holding it for at least 4 and then letting out for 6. It's just going back to the breath. And sometimes we're not able to leave the room or the situation and go to the toilet to do that. We have to do it in that moment. So you just go back to your breath, and you kind of, or you feel yourself on the floor, or you feel the breeze on you, and you remember, okay, well, this is me now. How am I going to choose to deal with it? But the breath has helped me. It's always, I know, is the most amazing tool. It takes us back and helps calm the system, take us back into our stress, from our stress, the high cortisol, back into the body, where you can calm this nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, and come back to that through breathing. and some people are able to hold their breath longer. But usually when you're in a state of stress, your breath is shortened and you're breathing from the top of your body. You're not breathing through the depth of your stomach. So in my experience, having experienced various situations and also panic attacks, breath has helped a great deal. And there's various ways. There's, for example, alternative nose breathing. There's various kinds. But the most simple and effective at the moment in time is going back to taking a deep breath, which most of us actually do automatically. It's like a sigh or, oh, like, automatically we do that. So that really helps me. And I know my clients too, because most people nowadays suffer with great stress and anxiety post-COVID. So it's definitely a tool. The breath work is highly important and useful in mindfulness.
Excellent. So we've got 3 powerful tips from you. That's so great. We've got the whole piece about nature and all the senses that we can activate there with sounds of the waves crashing, feeling the sun, really noticing the plant life around the flowers, specifically stop and smell the roses, everyone. And then you've got this great reminder of the sound of our own body. Using the sound coming into the body and expressing the sound can also bring us into a very, very mindful state. And then, of course, this one that can work anywhere is the breath, and how you explained the different tips that we can follow is to use this counting of the breath and learn that. So if you're out there and you're really needing a bit of help with anxiety now, and you start practicing these techniques, they will definitely help you. Sometimes the mind is just too busy in order to bring itself into a mindful state, but the breath is one to keep practicing even still, because that one itself can bring you way deeper, way quicker, even when the mind is full. Thank you so much, Helena. It's been lovely chatting with you. We wish you the best. And thanks so much for all these great tips. And I'm looking forward to having more and more people in our community become more and more mindful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for this opportunity and for all the listeners. And yes, to being more mindful. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye.
So I've already had a post go out about you and another one go out about Helena. Sorry, about Maria. Hang on.